Hey Programming 12, we're going to talk about generating the random puzzles. This is one of two videos. The first video right now we're going to talk about generating a random integer, which is different than generating a random like float or like decimal number. The second video will cover how do you use that number to select colors and words using arrays. Okay, so first off, number one, we got to make a random number. So we're going to use the random function. In the random function, you can give it a range. You can say 1 to 10, for example, and this will return a float that is between 1 inclusive and 10 exclusive, which means starting from 1 all the way up to, but not quite 10. So 9.999, as many decimals as possible, would be the highest number it could give you, and the lowest is 1.0. So that's great, love it. But there's a problem with that. If I wanted to generate a random integer, like if I said like int random num equals this, it doesn't let me do that. And I'll try to zoom in here. You can see we're zooming way in. I don't know if you can see this, but it says type mismatch. Float does not match with int, and that's a really important thing to know about processing and Java in general. It's a typed language, which means that types matter, and you can't just stick them willy-nilly into each other. So this generates a float. You can't stick a float in an int. They're not the same. So we gotta do something about that. So the easiest way to do that is to use a casting operator. That way we take whatever the results of this are, it'll get converted to an int by chopping off the decimals. So this will produce a number from 1 to 9 inclusive. It can, if it creates, 1.9, it'll chop off the decimal and make 1. If it makes 9.999, it'll chop it off and make 9. So this will give me a range of 1 to 9, which is weird because it says 10. So I understand if you feel a little bit awkward about that. This would be 0 to 9 here. So just remember there's got to be one more because it doesn't quite go up to that number and it chops off the decimals, so that's like the upper bounds plus 1. Okay, so there you go. That's how you generate a random int, and we're going to, in the next video, take that and plug it into an array to select a random word in a random color. Okay, see you in a few short moments.